Someone please explain Jujutsu Kaisen like I'm 5. I'm 24 episodes into the first season and I still don't get it. I posted this thread and it got 61 comments.
That's a lot for me, okay?
Let me just read you some of the answers I got here.
I've finally found my people.
Ghostbusters, but the Ghostbusters use karate and Naruto powers.
What exactly don't you get?
JJK is Harry Potter.
That might be my favorite one.
Not gonna lie, just watch something else, gang.
It's a runner-up for sure. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nad. I talk about all things Asian media, from anime, video games, to Asian dramas. And today, we're debriefing a little bit about JJK, also known as Jujutsu Kaisen, for people who don't get it.
Including myself.
As a disclaimer, this is mostly based off of my viewing and watching experience. I have not read the manga and I have not watched JJK Zero, which
I know, a lot of you have yelled at me saying that I should have watched it before watching season 3.
But basically, I am pushing 30 this year. Woo!
Auntie era.
And I have been a lifelong anime fan, anime watcher, and I know like this is a thing from generation to generation. I'm gonna watch anime for the rest of my life. Am I gonna understand anime for the rest of my life? That's the real question here, okay? So I'm gonna break it down with a combination of some wonderful responses that I got from my community on Threads and just from how I understand the story, okay? There is Yuji Itadori. He is the main protagonist in this story. He is kind of dumb. He's not the brightest kid, but he has a really strong sense of justice, right? So when he sees his classmates being attacked by these spirits, he wants to do something about it. Even though he's not necessarily the strongest person in the world, he's got some physical strength that you wouldn't expect. And in the process of it, he runs into someone named Megumi. Megumi is like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Like, you need to get out of here. Pinky, I've been calling him Pinky on Threads. Pinky is basically like, no, I'm still gonna help. And in the process of all of this, he eats a finger.
Stay with me here, okay?
This finger belongs to a curse. This curse, he is basically the king of all curse users. Sakuna. I keep wanting to say Sakuna. It's kind of embarrassing. I keep thinking like Sakura. He is a curse that had been locked away years ago by another main protagonist, Gojo, which is basically Kakashi Hatake reincarnate, but much more charming in my opinion. And he's got some pretty blue eyes, not gonna lie, I'm weak for the blue eyes. His fingers were spread around the world. Stay with me, because if they all came back together again into a vessel, which apparently you have to eat the fingers to become a vessel, he would come back alive again. Obviously, Pinky, just being a normal high school kid, he doesn't realize this until he does it, and then he's basically thrown into this world of sorcerers. That's who Megumi is. That's who Gojo is. Nanaba is Maki and Toji. These people come from a specific clan of people who put sorcerers on a pedestal if they come from their family, and they are shunned deeply if they don't have any sorcerer powers, which both Maki and Toji don't. Toji, that's my man.
That's my man, Toji. Ah.
Are we following along here? There are sorcerers who can use cursed energy, but you have sorcerers who don't have any cursed energy or sorcerer powers who can use cursed tools to destroy curses, demons, monsters, whatever. And then you have the actual curses, which are manifested from people with bad emotions, and they become bad guys. They become monsters, okay? And they just want to eat people and kill people so they can make more of themselves. And then there's the cursed king, Sukuna. He's inside of Yuji. He makes Pinky hella strong when he needs him, and he be coming out and causing havoc, basically. Main characters, Yuji Itadori, aka Pinky, Megumi Fushiguro, Nanaba, Gojo, and a bunch of others, but we're gonna limit it to that, okay? The hierarchy is Gojo is like a sorcerer teacher. He's your Kakashi Hatake. He is sensei, okay? And there's a bunch of other sorcerer teachers or senseis. There are the sorcerers in training, the Jujutsu Kaisen students. And they're basically learning how to use this cursed energy to fight off the curses who essentially want to take over the world and make the whole world filled with curses. And then below them are just humans. Humans are the people they're always trying to protect. With the magic system, there is this thing that these sorcerers can do. They use their cursed energy to destroy the curses, right? But if they're having a hard time, they might bring up this thing called a domain expansion. And what this does, it puts a cursed energy sorcerer and a curse in a bubble or a barrier. Basically, the sorcerer has a guaranteed hit to these curses, marks them. And that's great, but it takes a lot of skill to learn how to do that. There are people like Gojo, who's known to be the strongest sorcerer, and because of that, he is such a target. And because of that, he is the one mentoring Pinky specifically, because he's the only one who could potentially beat Sukuna if it ever came to that point. I'm not trying to spoil the whole show. Please watch it. I'm just hoping this explanation gives some people some clarity, because I had such a hard time, and I had never had such a hard time understanding a shonen anime until I tried to watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I started watching it probably way back in 2021. I know it's been out a little bit longer than that, and I couldn't. I'm like, I cannot comprehend this. Am I dumb? Am I old? Like 5 years ago now, I was 25. So like, if I had trouble at 25, now that we got the explanation out of the way, as a quick recap, there's humans. Humans have bad emotions. They manifest as curses. These curses want to destroy the humans and make more of them. There's sorcerers. These are people who have cursed energy, which is basically their magic power. They destroy the curses. There are also sorcerers who don't have cursed energy, but they have cursed weapons that can also destroy the curses. They get like hella strong physical strength. Okay? Got it? Good. Main characters again. Yuji, aka Pinky, Megumi, Nanaba. I swear to God, if I'm saying her name wrong, I'm so sorry, y'all. And then Gojo. Those are like the main ones. And then Sukuna. And then there's also this little gang of curses and cursed users who could also be humans who use curses in their bad energy for their own powers and for their own gain, because they want curses to rule the world. Why?
Because they're sick in the head, probably, okay? Okay.
Now that we understand what's going on, I want to go into a little bit more critique. Why I needed this show explained like I'm 5. Quite honestly, I think the biggest area for improvement in Jujutsu Kaisen is the pacing. And this is coming from someone who tried to watch it for the first time and then maybe a year or so after that watched Frieren and just felt like I had a breath of fresh air. A slow anime, as someone who loves shows like Mushishi, and I love shonen, of course, too, like, but when you come from like shonen like One Piece, for example, where the pacing is just all over the place, to Jujutsu Kaisen, where it's like, hey, normal kid, first episode, next episode, he's training, and it's like, what? Did we miss some chapters here in between? Yeah. That throws you off a little bit. On top of it, and what doesn't help, even though I think the purpose of this is to help with the pacing issue, is the over-explanation. Throughout the show, it explains often what is going on. It explains what cursed energy is. It explains who people are. It explains what curses are and how they manifest. But the way that it is explained is to a level that is so filled with fluff for the sake of sounding cool. It's like too much information. And that paired with the pacing of the show, it doesn't give viewers enough room to really breathe and also start comprehending how the mechanics of the show works. I will say I do believe it's gotten better as of season 3 being out and concluded, but that's definitely something that was a little difficult for me. So if that affected you,
No, you're not alone.
the last critique I have for this series is the world building. I mean, I just explained it to you guys, but it almost feels busy. It almost feels like there's so much world stuffed in and we've barely scratched the surface. There's also a character that balances cursed energy, cursed spirit, and sorcerers called Tengen. The entire show, I kept trying to put a face to the name, and I'm like, have I just not met this person yet? Where has this person been? So that part of the world building really isn't explained until the middle of the second season. So it takes a while for you to get there, to get to the point of understanding.
At the same time,
While the pacing, the over-explanation, and the world building can feel a little bit jarring, but it also reminds me of Chinese anime. Many Chinese anime and Chinese media tend to not hand things to you. That is a big difference between a lot of Western media versus like Asian media. And this stems all the way back to traditional East Asian literature. A lot of the writing done back then was kind of to build the suspense, kind of not to hand the story to you. You have to kind of figure it out on your own. As viewers of the Western world, we're used to things being handed to us on a plate in media. I do think the execution could be done a little bit more smoothly. On the flip side, I do want to talk about the wins of the series and why I think it works. To be honest, I think JJK is Gen Z's Naruto. like 1,000%. Like JJK, My Hero Academia, and Demon Slayer, those are the big three for Gen Z. And it's a really beautiful thing to see. It's nice seeing a new generation of shonen anime really shine in this globalization of anime and just the popularity of the medium and how much it's grown with the masses. It has successfully brought upon a new wave of anime watchers, anime fans.
And it's gonna keep them there.
And once they start, you're gonna explore more, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. Additionally, I cannot talk about the wins of Jujutsu Kaisen without talking about the animation. The fight scenes. Are you freaking kidding me? The fight scenes are crazy. Maki in season 3, Toji, my man Toji in season 2 and in season 3. Even Megumi, like, he did his big one when they were under that bridge. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And of course, any fight scene with Sukuna, like, insane, gorgeous. And it's not that dizzying kind of fight animation that you can sometimes experience. It helps you stay sucked in. I would argue it performs it better than like your solo levelings, honestly. Like solo leveling can be a little bit dizzying with the fight scenes, even though it's really cool to watch, but it's absolutely a masterpiece.
Shout out to Mappa.
And then the last 2 points is the backstory and the characters. They are deeply intertwined. This kind of leans back into how I feel like the storytelling, although jarring, especially with over-explanations in the world building, it all ties into each other with each new character you're introduced to in understanding where they came from. And then you start to understand the concepts and the mechanics of the show and the powers more. The backstory is paced very well. The character development is also paced quite well. You see a huge switch from the Pinky we meet in the very first episode to where we are in season 3 now. And it makes sense. It feels realistic. It feels relatable. You could see how any other teenage boy would feel the same way that Yuji is feeling. And it's not too dramatic either. It's not over performative, even though like that's kind of a big element into anime and especially with teenage boy protagonists, but it feels realistic from every character. I really hope this video helped. I hope I didn't confuse you more trying to debrief JJK for you guys.
I hope I explained it like I'm at least 5.
Maybe I explained it like I'm 10. I don't know. You let me know in the comments below. As you guys may or may not know, I do social media video consulting and I do have some printable downloads that you can purchase at the link in my bio. If you'd like to see more Asian media commentary from me, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.